Five minutes to another episode of Before the Baldman Speaks. I'm your host, as always, Andrew the Clown Kid Lawrence, and thank you for joining me here on a lovely Sunday afternoon on the weekend when we memorialize the great Americans who gave their lives for us to be able to gallivant around drunk and have barbecues. Joining me to help break down all the action that happened from UFC Fight Night 88, UFC Las Vegas, UFC Thomas Almeida against Cody Garbrandt is a man who cannot celebrate Memorial Day proper. This man is a Canadian, but we'll forgive him his Canadian stature temporarily. He's a legend. He's a myth. Some represent him through the spirit animal of the bumblebee. Some represent him through the spirit animal of the craft beer. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about the one and only Flying Brian Jeffries. What's happening, Jeff?
Yeah, I've been celebrating your United States of America holiday with some pretty great craft beers.
Are they American craft beers?
We do have craft beers here in Canada. I've had quite a few craft beers here in Canada tonight, and we thought that since it was your holiday, we were going to celebrate it in your honor anyway. We too like to memorialize our dead, and
by drinking.
So that's how that goes.
It's a universal human instinct to be like, people died, let's drink.
I think that's pretty much it. And actually, I think it goes even to a more narrow spectrum. It's like, it's the weekend. We don't have to work tomorrow. Let's drink.
Yeah. That's if someone's not going to make me do something early tomorrow morning, I'm getting shit-faced.
I actually think I might have to do something early tomorrow, but I'm not going to do it at a high level. So
just enough effort to skate by.
It's just my girlfriend is going to make me go to the farmer's market or something, so I just have to be present. I don't have to be, aware. So I'm just going to be there. I'm going to be grumpy.
That is a thing you could be hungover for. The farmer's market, it should be hangovers welcome. Giant banner.
I think that they serve coffee there. The first, you walk into the farmer's market, the first station is some caffeine, and I'm going to, spend all of my money on that station and then follow her around for the rest of the day.
Let me ask you this before we get into the fights. Did we buy American? Since we're drinking craft beers on our great holiday, are these American craft beers? Or are these dirty Canadian?
Actually, this is craziness. I don't know how this happened, but I am Canadian, and all of the craft beers that I have here, for some reason, are Nebraskan.
Yes.
Nebraskan American. So that's pretty strange.
A lot of military coming out of Cornhusker country.
So that is pretty weird. Let's talk, Andrew. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about how Memorial Day we need to be patriotic to the Americans.
Yes.
If you were to pick against the Americans tonight, you were not doing well.
Well, we had two American winners in the in the co-main event and the main event, so we made up for it towards the end when it counted.
Right. If you picked the Americans, you were doing fine, and even to go back a little further, Chris Camozzi put the beat down.
Yeah, Chris Camozzi on Brazil started the Brazil going downward. Rick Story, Tarek Safardine, that's a foreigner invading. That's like World War II all over again.
Moral of the story, you do not pick against America.
Ever. Just in general.
Ever. I think that we have a fantastic American joining us right now in Nick Diaz.
Mr. Nick Diaz, we may have Mr. Nick Diaz on the line. It'll be interesting to see what he was doing this Memorial Day weekend. Probably maybe some barbecues in Stockton, maybe some brotherly affairs in there. Nate, how you doing, brother? How's your Memorial Day weekend going?
Am I here? Am I live?
You're live.
I'm not surprised, motherfucker.
I'm not surprised, motherfucker. Yeah, you come on. We actually have right now already on the line Flying Brian Jeffries. We're actually here bringing Mr. Flying Brian J on to announce a very special episode of Before the Baldman Speaks. Flying Brian will be our guest for episode 4 UFC 200. Brian, how do you feel hearing this news? Do you think you're ready to take on such a big responsibility?
Andrew, I'm pretty bittersweet about it. part of me is like, fuck yes, I get to talk to Andrew on like the most anticipated UFC card of all time, and then the other half of me is like, I have to kind of tame down my alcohol consumption on that very prestigious day. So it is great, but it's also like, fuck, I can only drink a sixer rather than an entire case. So I mean, it's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think as long as you're drinking a minimum of 6 beers, you'll be okay. Because if UFC 200 goes anyway like tonight went, we'll be deep in some wins over here in the Lawrence household. We'll be deep in the alcoholic beverages. So
yeah.
Any day other than Monday, I'm sure that's an easy goal to hit.
I mean, yeah, I don't know though. You're drinking that craft brew stuff, so you got some depth there. The drunk's different than when you're on the Miller High Life. You know what I mean?
The champagne of beers.
That's that 5.5%, man. Yeah, that's pretty stiff. That's like $6 a six-pack. That'll get you pretty tuned in.
That's what you look. I actually get into the glass bottle, so I take the upcharge. I'm a fancy drinker.
You look fancy, Andrew. You look fancy.
It's all about fancy over here today. Joining us live, also helping us break down UFC Las Vegas, which we have broken down 0% of, but we'll get to it. Is my man Justin Golightly, Secret Moves MMA of Middle East fame. How you doing, brother?
Yeah, cha-cha. Everybody always wants secret moves, so that was one. So you guys better be fucking watching.
What's most important is though, as you do the secret moves, you have to tell us what the controls are to make this unleash the secret moves. That's why I always lost in Street Fighter. I couldn't figure out everyone's dope moves.
One of them is back B.
Mm-hmm. Hold on, I'm writing this down.
Yeah, back B. If you want any others, you're gonna have to buy the strategy guide. It's the secret moves strategy guide.
Yep.
And,
what's that run me? Can I pay that COD?
What's that?
Can I pay that via COD?
You can pay with it with Bitcoin.
Okay, only Bitcoin.
I accept Bitcoin.
Isn't one Bitcoin worth like $300?
Well,
like $4.94. It's really expensive.
You get the secret moves, dude.
Yeah.
This is important shit.
What the fuck, man? You commie bastard.
These Canadians. You bring Canadians on a Memorial Day. They're insulting our fake currencies. You know.
Also, you are Canadian. I am impressed by your country.
Let me ask you this, Brian. Now that you've been informed that you're the UFC 200 guest, do you think that you're gonna have nerves before it? It's a pretty big deal, man.
I have nerves before going to work on a Monday, so this is a monumentous event, so that's a lot bigger than just going to work on a Monday. So yeah, I've got some nerves, man. My heart's gonna be racing about 200 beats per minute. Hardly gonna be able to speak.
Mondays typically whack, but I embrace Mondays as a concept, and I feel like I take them head on. Okay, now that we're in show mode, let's talk about the fights, gentlemen. Gentlemen, can we talk about the fights?
Let's start with the main event.
Let's start with the main event. God damn it, Brian, that's a great place to start. Thomas Almeida got fucking scorched! Okay, this fight was supposed to be sweet as fuck and kind of was sweet as fuck. If you had to put it on a scale of sweet as fucks to be the ultimate sweet as fuckest thing in the world, and like kind of just like, you know, chicken nugget, barbecue sauce at McDonald's sweet as fuck, where are you putting this?
I'll let you go first there, Flying Brian.
I'm going to go like honey as fuck.
Honey.
You know, like bumblebee honey as fuck.
Wildflower organic honey.
Yeah, as fuck.
As fuck. Secret moves?
I'm going to go, like, okay, this is going to take a while. So, this is like, you go to Chick-fil-A on a Saturday because you know that shit's going to be closed on Sunday.
Of course.
So, you get, like, a bunch of chicken biscuits anyway, and then you get a bunch of that Chick-fil-A sauce.
Yes.
And you kind of... you warm it up on that Sunday morning when you want it real bad. You abstain from it. On that Saturday, you put that delicious, sweet, honey, barbecue, mustardy type sauce on those spicy chicken biscuits. It was like that.
So just to officially confirm, you're saying that Cody Garbrandt is a day-old Chick-fil-A sandwich covered in sauce.
and exactly as sexy as that as well. That dude is a sexy motherfucker.
He is a sexy motherfucker. A lot of people were poo-pooing him because he wasn't dating Paige Van Zandt anymore. But I think people need to pause. I think Cody Garbrandt's doing just fine in the ladies department.
He can do better. Paige Van Zandt is cute.
He could do better than just anyone that exists. You know, he's such a handsome motherfucker. He should be fucking a clone of himself.
And make that motherfucker cereal.
Like, not pancakes, not waffles or anything, but cereal, definitely.
No, cereal, because, I mean, you know, it's like I'm one of the guys.
Yeah, exactly. You know, I don't want to cook eggs for the dude. That's kind of like a bit...
Nah, that's gay. No,
Flying Brian Jeffries, how much can you confirm that cooking eggs is gay?
Are we talking about cooking eggs on a griddle? Are we talking about microwaving eggs? Are we talking about baking eggs?
Hold on, time out in the show. You microwave eggs? What kind of savage are you?
Oh, I have this special piece of equipment that helps you like make an omelet in like a minute 30 seconds for breakfast only.
Doc, what is this Canadian contraption you speak of?
I would go get it for you so we could show it to you right now.
Okay, you go get it, and I'm gonna ask Justin. Justin, what did you think about this fight? How for real do you think Cody Garbrandt is in 135-pound division?
Well, first off, I just want to make clear that I respect the gay community, and obviously that was just a joke. Especially considering I'm seriously talking about being in a homosexual relationship with Cody Garbrandt.
Yes, we all understand.
Making him cereal in the morning out of love.
We understand that you would have like a very loving, open, honest adult relationship with Cody if you had the chance. But Cody is a reserved guy. He's probably not putting his heart out there like you're willing to at this place. You're just too emotionally mature for Cody Garbrandt at this time. You're two different things in your life.
In all seriousness, I think this happened at exactly the right time that it needed to.
Mm-hmm.
These are two really good prospects that are on the rise right now, and they're still young. And it happened at a time where I think it really doesn't hurt either one of the guys if one of them lost. Unfortunately, Almeida lost, but I don't really think it's going to hurt him that much.
Yeah, it's a good thing that we have in MMA that guys can lose, and it's not a career definer, especially at this stage in the game. So we can't put two young prospects where they're still peaking and getting towards their athletic prime, and they can still fight, and that's really awesome. Cody Garbrandt, I was part of the team, and I'm going to throw this question around. I was part of the team that was kind of hating on Cody Garbrandt just because I thought he got hit too much. He kind of held his chin out there. Those are still kind of negatives I think were present in this fight, but how much do those kind of doubters and those kind of haters go away? I'll throw this one to Brian. What do you think, man?
Cody Garbrandt, a lot of these haters, they were from him getting knocked out when he was an amateur, 20 fights ago? Our buddy, I don't know if he's your buddy, but he's my buddy, Luca Fury, he loves to bring up how Cody Garbrandt got knocked out when he was an amateur, I don't know, something like 20 years ago. I'm all about what have you done for us lately.
I would put him fighting at 8 years old, but continue.
Yeah, so it was actually 21 years ago.
Okay.
The guy was 7. I stand corrected. I apologize.
He was
Sorry for blowing you up.
So this guy, I feel like we shouldn't be discounting this guy for things that happened when he was 7 years old. Why are we even doing that? I saw a lot of people talking about how Almeida had been really poor against solid boxers. Like Brad Pickett isn't a great boxer, decent boxer, and he got dropped by Pickett. So we've got No Love, who's a great boxer, is going to drop him. Again, I'm going to bring it back to I'm Canadian, and I'm really just like, don't pick against these Americans.
It's always Canadian. This is our weekend, and you're stealing it from us. You're stealing it from the men and women of the armed forces.
Speaking of stealing it from us, I went to go get that egg maker.
Oh, show us the egg maker, please.
My girlfriend stole it.
Ah! Break up with her immediately. She has no use anymore.
It's an amazing egg maker. You have no idea, and she stole it, hid it. somewhere that I cannot locate it.
I'm gonna go ahead and plug this Sierra Nevada.
Sierra Nevada. Their pale ale's pretty fantastic.
My hat here, so who knows? I may luck out.
Yeah, you're definitely getting us the Sierra Nevada sponsorship.
Dude, I'm so getting it.
Here, I'm throwing this out there to Sierra Nevada. If you sponsor us, I will shotgun a minimum of 4 beers every episode. I'm not saying we're going to teach kids to binge drink, but we'll get them where they need to be. You know what I mean?
I'm on my way to that right now.
All right,
Andrew, most of their beers come in bottles. How do you shotgun a bottle?
You need a glass drill bit. So
you need a BB gun.
That's a messy process. Flying Brian, what do you have to say about the main event in general before we move on from it? I mean, besides that, it was fucking awesome as hell. You know?
I was kind of sad because I picked Almeida. I thought that Almeida would style on Garbrandt, and then...
How much did we really learn about Almeida, like, that he's a poor fighter? I just thought he just didn't catch his rhythm, and Cody really did early. I didn't put too much of his stock down at the end of this fight.
In my own analysis, I said that Almeida was going to need to overcome an early chin test to win this fight. And
no chin.
And in 2020 hindsight, I'm like, a fighter shouldn't have to overcome a chin test to be able to win a fight. So that right there should have told me to pick No Love. So I'm a fucking retard, basically.
Expert analysis from Flying Brian.
All respect to retards. All respect to retards.
All respect to the retarded
Yeah,
community.
I apologize for the PC.
They don't watch my show. Don't worry about it. Justin, man, what are your final thoughts on the main event here?
I'm interested to see what happened. I wasn't really big on Garbrandt, but now I'm starting to like him a little bit more. I think you touched on that a little bit. One of the things that I'm most proud of is that he at least said a fucking name. He at least said a fucking name. Like, he just kind of mentioned it in passing, like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's kind of a pussy way to do it, for sure. But
at least a name, man. You guys can't just be like, well, whatever Dana wants. Dana's not there. He's busy.
You know what? Dana doesn't give a fuck about what you're doing.
Eating hoagies with Matt Serra, he don't give a fuck. Pick someone.
Yeah, Dana White's busy. He's making Laffy Taffy on the Atlantic City Boardwalk. What the fuck, dude?
He's gonna start a microbrewery. He's trying to take Parm recipe down. Him and Matt Serra are gonna open up friggin' restaurants. That Nick the Tooth.
Nick the Tooth is the maitre d'?
Dentistry office.
Okay, so great. So
he's gonna ride around in that big thing that what was that guy's name? The doctor in Django Unchained. He's gonna run that big.
Oh man, Christopher Waltz, man. Nick the Tooth is Christopher Waltz, man. Oh, legendary. Okay, so. Yeah, fighters, please to God, man. If there's anything that you could do to help your own self out, just say some goddamn names when you get a microphone in front of us. This is why boxing's better to a certain degree, guys, because, and I know you hate this when I talk about it, Brian, but, like, a boxer at least turns to his manager, and if the manager knows that this guy's fucking it up, he just, like, puts his arm in there and goes, we're going for the title, baby. We want that belt next. He names the next dude. He comes out there and says it. You know, we need to let managers be in there, at least to whisper in their ear and say, no, you need to fight this guy because I just got you that fight behind the scenes 2 minutes ago. So hype that fight, please. Thank you very much. Co-main event here, Jeremy Stephens against Renan Barão. Goddamn, Jeremy Stephens, he's a guy who kind of sneaks, under the radar, is an underdog in some spots, but he is a fucking demon. If you watched his Instagram Q&A session or whatever the fuck it was, like a Vine Q&A session, like the day before weigh-ins on the UFC Twitter feed, he has the blackest, most soulless eyes of any human I've ever seen in my entire life. As soon as I saw his face, I was like, oh, this man is not troubled by fisticuffs. He is going to destroy poor Renan Barão and suck his soul out of his body. And that's what actually happened. That was literally what happened. well, really in the second round, it just seemed like his power took over, and Renan Barão couldn't move around as much after feeling, some of them big shots from good old Jeremy Stephens.
He does not like to get hit.
No, he doesn't. Flying Brian J. If you had to sell your soul to the devil or to Jeremy Stephens, who would you sell your soul to? And what do you think happened in this fight?
I would sell my soul to the devil, and I would ask for amazing guitar playing skills.
Solid.
One thing that blows my mind is Jeremy Stephens is known as a knockout artist from the 155-pound division, right? And Renan Barão is coming from the 135-pound division where he got knocked out by T.J. Dillashaw.
And he's the dog.
So does this tell us something about T.J. Dillashaw's incredible power? I mean, MMA math doesn't work, but certainly that tells us something.
Yep, he's got 155-pound power. Good thing Dominic Cruz could move out of the way of it.
So Dominic Cruz could legitimately be like the 155-pound champion. I'm assuming he's going to be
170-pound champion.
What's his name?
Dog shit out of the chin of Uriah Faber.
He's easily going to beat Uriah Faber.
Yeah, once he gets through the Uriah Faber payday, let's go right to 155 pounds. Dos Anjos versus Cruz. No one else is in the way.
Johnson's going to be like, oh, shit, man.
Yeah.
I was so close.
You should have called that. Yep. He should have gone after the 155-pound title. It's the title to call out right now. Justin, we had a fantastic Nate Diaz reference here. If you have to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10 as our resident Nate Diaz reference expert, how would you reference or how would you rate?
Real quick, is he Nick Diaz?
Reference? I'm sorry, who's Nick Diaz? Who's Nick Diaz? I'm not Nick Diaz. Are you
Justin
Nick Diaz?
Golightly's Nick Diaz, not Nate Diaz.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's not either of them. He's his own person.
Sorry, go on.
I'm very confused. Have I reached the nexus of the universe? What is this going on? This is very bizarre right now.
The fourth wall has bent in on itself. Yeah. The alcohol and the fourth wall are starting to bleed into one another right now. So let's move out of it. What? Jeremy Stephens, Nate Diaz reference. Fantastic reference, or did he kind of fuck it up a little bit?
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and listen right here with the real shit. Listen, all that, homie, is played out. I'm the original. All right? Gregor coming out with that bullshit. They stole everything I worked for, motherfucker! It's all played out now. Nate Diaz did it. That girl from Invicta did it.
Ooh.
Then another person from the UFC, I think, did it, and now Jeremy Stephens did it? Nah, man.
Invicta's like the Taylor Swift of MMA. So, like, once they do it, it's done. Like, once Taylor Swift did, like, the Jumpman commercial, that's when you knew Jumpman was done forever. When Invicta shouts out, I ain't surprised, motherfucker, that's when you know that tagline's done forever. And no one liked that.
All due respect to Invicta, we're just offending everybody right now.
No, it's important that this show shit on everyone because it happens at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
My agent made another huge mistake. I have to fire this guy.
Well, that's the problem. Is Flying Brian is your agent, so you know.
Really? Your alternate alias is douchebag Sweeten?
I'll find other words. I'll find another word.
AKA Uncle Rick.
Your prospects are up right now, Bri. Okay, this fight, seriously. Great come from behind victory by Jeremy Stephens. Is he a top 5 guy now? Is he sniffing at a title shot with another victory? And who would you match him up with next? I'll go Justin. Go for it. Justin, can you hear me? This is the musical session of the fight.
Confused.
I'm sorry, did I say it? No, go ahead.
I don't think, I mean, it's really hard to judge. Like he was saying earlier, like MMA math, you know, Renan Barão made his debut. He hasn't beat anyone there, but it's also Renan Barão. He was like the man at the other weight.
Yep.
I don't think...
Profile fight.
I think he needs another win. Although he did do that mysterious things like Dana promised me something. What did he promise you?
The mythical Dana promise.
You get a fight that maybe later on down the line they're like, actually, nah, fuck it, we're not actually going to give you that fight.
A Dana promise is like a thing in like a spell that's cast on you in an RPG that gives you a certain percentage of something really good happening, but like it's only really 15%. You know what I mean? So 50% chance title shot.
If maybe some of the people here don't play RPG games. Maybe I could go at it another way and say that Dana White promises are like your stepdad's promises. He's like, I'll pick you up on the weekend, and we're going to go and have a great time. And then you're waiting on there on the curb by the mailbox, and he never comes. And then your mom comes out there and is like, he ain't coming. And you're like, but he promised this time. And she's
then maybe if you're lucky, in consolation, she takes you out to like a fast food restaurant.
Right. Yeah.
Maybe you go to Burger King that day.
Happy Meal.
Okay, so Dana White, you are making all of the single family household children sad. Did you grow up in a single family house, a single parent household, Brian?
I did. Oh, Brian. I'm just answering for you. Are you kidding me? He's from freaking Canada. He had a great life,
wholesome
great family, free health care. He got to grow up hockey and wrestling. He started drinking when he was like 16. They had a beer.
They just give you a new one.
He loved Chris Benoit. He probably poured the Stu Hart dungeon. I got this guy pegged.
You got it.
Winnipegged. Oh, punny.
Pause on that, and let's just all internalize what just happened there, because that pun was death. That pun was
Dana's actual promise to Jeremy Stephens was that he was going to be allowed onto Where Are They Now? So congratulations, Jeremy Stephens. You get to be on a show where washed-up dudes get to say how they're at a car wash now. So congratulations.
Well, we get to find out about Tate Fletcher's delicious coffee.
So that's fucking great for Jeremy Stephens.
Tate Fletcher is the most successful UFC veteran in the history of the world. I saw that dude in Jurassic fucking World, and if I see you in Jurassic fucking World, that means you have made it, my friends. I'm sorry, but there's nothing better than being a part of like you were in a Steven Spielberg produced movie. You fucking won, bro. All these fucking idiot fighters going for pay-per-view points.
At Steven Spielberg for killing that fucking dinosaur. They're endangered. Doesn't he know that?
That's just mean.
He took part in trying to kill that camouflage Velocity Rex.
Yeah, that's fucked up, Steven Spielberg. I don't understand.
Okay. So Jeremy Stephens with a fantastic KO victory.
Henenbrow, I'd love to see him at 145 pounds again.
Yeah.
One thing that I didn't understand going into this was Henenbrow was like lukewarm about being at 145 pounds. He's like, well, I'm going to just kind of try out 145 pounds. I might go back to 135 pounds. I don't really know. So I didn't feel like his mindset was there. So who knows what that guy even wants? Does he even want to fight anymore? That's why I picked against his ass. You can't be like, I'm not sure I want to fight 145 pounds on the day of a 145-pound fight.
USADA.
That's just not something you do.
Here's the thing, it's almost cruel to say, but it's like, you better suck down to that skeletal weight, boy. You're looking a little tiny in this thing. He's like, these weight cuts are killing me. And we're like, yeah, well, if you wanna fight, you're gonna have to basically die.
If you want to be at the top of the heap, you're gonna have to be with the smaller dudes, bro. Because Jeremy Stephens isn't the largest 145-pounder, and he looked kind of small.
That's what I was saying on Twitter. Like, how did he go up a weight class and Henenbrow still look like E.T.'s dead body?
I think we all forgot how bad he used to look at 135.
I know, right? He still looked just as bad at 145. What the hell's wrong with this guy?
And what was he talking about? How he tripped off the scale, and that's why he ran into Jeremy Stephens. So you didn't trip, dude. You just weren't looking where you were going.
Yeah, he was just looking at his feet as if like he was like, damn, I better make sure I don't fall.
He said that he tripped and he apologized, and he said that. But
imagine being a competitive fighter and having to look at your feet constantly to make sure that you're stepping in the right places.
You're gonna get knocked the fuck out in the first 45 seconds every time.
That was a poor sign.
Money off you.
That should have alerted the morale betters to stay away.
He looked surprised too. Not only that, he looked surprised. Like, wait a minute. Like,
and then apologetic.
I just gained like 10 pounds. How did you just shove me like I was a 5th grader?
I think he was wearing very slippery socks because if you take a peek at his socks, they look like they were very fuzzy as fuck. You know what I mean?
He's got fuzzy socks.
Dude, no, I'm telling you, those socks are comfortable as shit, dude. So yeah, definitely Hen and Browse people, holler at me with your sock hookup. Those are dope. Some other cool stuff happened. This fight card was supposed to be just like laced with fucking dope fights, but there was some goddamn nonsense in the middle of this card. You know, all these names and everyone was pumped about, and some of them delivered duds. I mean, overall, I like what the fuck happened tonight. I'm not trying to be a negative dude, but there was some goddamn shit to wade through here. Probably number 3 of the worst examples I'll give. Tarek Saffiedine against Rick Story. Rick Story taking a unanimous decision 29-28 on 2 scorecards and a 30-27 on another. Good win for Rick Story, but does anyone give a fuck?
I gave 0 fucks. Out of like 1 to 10 fucks, I gave 0 fucks.
Perfect. Justin, how many fucks?
I'm going through an existential crisis right now and do not think that any of this matters in the expanse of our reality. So that is a negative amount of fucks, given that the fucks that we are pertaining to are...
We're working under a fuck deficit.
Yeah, fuck deficit.
Yeah, this is the sad reality of the capitalism in a fuck deficit.
That's right.
Okay. Continuing on in the theme, Chris Camozzi beat Vitor Miranda. Vitor Miranda, you're supposed to knock this dude the fuck out. We're setting you up with something here. We're trying to give Brazil a little love on this Memorial Day weekend. And out comes Chris Camozzi wrestle fucking dudes for 30-27 scorecards.
Tried to do you a solid.
We really try to hook this dude up, and he's just going to insult us, basically.
Yeah, Brazilian Martin Kampmann got dealt a bad hand.
Whoa, Brazilian Martin Kampmann. I can relate. Yeah, I like that.
I know you would.
He lacks like the overall like veiny-ness once he gets punched in the head that Martin Kampmann had. That was a signature thing for me with Martin Kampmann. Like if you were to give me like word association test and you were like veiny-ness when punched in the head, I'd like Martin Kampmann.
He looks slightly penis-like.
Yeah.
Slightly less penis-y.
The more you agitate it, it just gets red and veiny.
It's throbbing.
Yeah. And he almost gets a little taller, too. The chin starts coming up, so you're right. It's very penis-like.
The neck expands.
Exactly. Just like a giraffe-like neck that... Okay, so, yeah. Tarek Saffiedine, very penis-like performance. Got the rub out from Rick Story. Were you impressed with Mr. Rick Story, Flying Brian J?
I mean, yes, actually I kind of was. The dude was away for over a year, and my statistics say that a dude that's been away for over a year only wins 35% of the time.
Fantastic.
So in that regard, I was impressed, but the fight, it fucking sucked. And God, if you did any pre-fight analysis for this fight, you knew that it wasn't going to be great. A lot of these fights were like minus 100 to plus 100, and so you're like, okay, so most of them are going to a decision. It's going to fucking suck.
Yes. We had to slog through 7 straight decisions, I believe. Yep, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, it looks just about to be, 7 decisions before we had to get the glorious sacrifice of the Brazilian upon our Memorial Day altar.
Memorial Day!
That was our Iwo Jima moment of the show.
Brazil on Memorial Day.
Don't fucking be Brazil. Lorenz Larkin got a split decision victory over Jorge Masvidal, 29-28 on 2 scorecards, and a one of 2 shitty scorecards delivered by Adelaide Bird in this Memorial Day weekend in Las Vegas. She was obviously on the wrong side of both decisions. Thank God she wasn't dumb enough to get the wrong person the victory. Lorenz Larkin taking a pretty good fight over Jorge Masvidal. I thought this was competitive. I thought this was fun. Jorge Masvidal typically looked good in certain spots, but just couldn't continuously put on enough pressure to be the better fighter or to win a round. But Lorenz Larkin had a really sweet symbol shaved into the back of his head as well. So let's ignore how well he fought, and let's talk about what that weird symbol could possibly mean.
Both things are exactly typical. That's the same exact haircut that Lorenz Larkin always has. He has that weird shit going on. It's like a mohawk, but it turns at the end. Then he has a bell inside of his head. I assume it's the bell.
Does he always have the bell?
He always has the bell.
I don't think he's got the Liberty Bell shaped inside of his head. Justin?
It turns out that Lorenz Larkin is like a really big historian buff.
He's just really into the 1700s.
I'm pretty sure he always has the Liberty Bell inside of his head every single time. I don't think it's the
fucking Liberty Bell, dude.
Well, I don't understand why, but he definitely does.
We gotta look this up.
Whom the bell tolls.
He's just a really good Hemingway guy.
Band of
Metallica.
That's the greatest band of all time.
You guys are both Metallica. I'm like, Ernest Hemingway, guys? Is it Honors English guy?
This was either the best decision of my life or the worst decision of my life, to be honest.
Described from the hills in the early days.
Fuck yeah.
Nailed it. Okay.
From a Canadian. From a fucking canoe.
It's the last time you will.
All right. He also paints his toenails
like
red and black.
From Sesame Street trying to sing Metallica.
Well, James Hetfield isn't much better. Be real.
That is true.
Let's be real. James Hetfield was a voice on Sesame Street.
Touche.
There it is. So Lorenz Larkin, really impressed by him, or is it just like whatever? You beat up Jorge Masvidal.
Well, Jorge could have beat him if he would have just decided to beat him, but he always does that thing where he's like, I'm gonna hit him like 6 times, and then I'm just gonna hang out for the next minute. And I'm gonna hit him 6 times again. I'm just gonna hang out for the next like minute and a half because the last time I hung out for a minute. So this time we're gonna do it a little longer. Jorge could have beat him if he would have just consistently whooped his ass, but he just was like, I'm gonna whoop his ass and I'm gonna hang out. It's the same thing. That's why I pick Lorenz, because Jorge does that every single time.
Jorge Masvidal has the exact opposite strategy of Stone Cold Steve Austin.
I don't understand
Steve
how.
Austin does not take a break from stomping a mud hole in someone's ass. Give me a hell yeah! Jorge Masvidal takes a break. He shouldn't do that. You're right. Consecutive ass whooping is what we require, and will win you fights on paper and both in the judges' hands. Consecutive ass. I think if you ask, what is the guy's name? Big John on Twitter, he'll say that that's one of the judging criteria. Consecutive
ass whooping.
What do you want? You got to be an ass whooping ass whooper.
Ass whooper. But once you add the consecutive aspect to it, then you're fighting for the judges.
That's right.
But instead, George does it for 30 seconds at the beginning of a round, then decides I did enough ass whooping. I'm gonna chill out.
You gonna be rude and call him George? You're gonna call him by his slave name?
Damn, son.
Yeah, I am.
Damn.
You know, if he were to have fought for like 2:45 of each round instead of just 30 seconds, then he can get called Jorge. But you get 30 seconds, it's just George.
He needs to train with Beastin 25-8. That way he can be Jorge, you know, at least 24/7.
But what if Jorge is like, you know, beasting 4-3, so that all that like negative beasting energy affects beasting 25-8, so his beasting rate only gets to being like, you know, 18-6.
Hold on, let me carry the one.
George Masvidal could be undefeated if only he were to be beasting 24-5 of each round.
That's it. All you need is at least 24-5. I suggest that the management team for Jorge Masvidal gets in touch with us, and we can clearly figure out what's basically rooted in a mathematical error.
Your fighter, guys.
It's all about an algorithm. We're going to show him a Rubik's Cube. Be like, look at this.
We have advanced degrees in math, Justin. So
what the fuck do you think I am? Goodwill Hunting?
Just pipe down while the mathematics genius take over.
Every year.
It's okay. We'll send you some diagrams that can help you understand what's happening right now.
All right. Cool. I'll send it to my agent, and maybe he'll figure it out.
Yeah, he'll make it into a PowerPoint presentation. I hear you like those. Paul Felder beat Josh Berkman in what can only be called a crime against humanity. Josh Berkman was not put on this earth to lose to people like Paul Felder. Agree or disagree? Blind Brian, go.
From here on out, I'm going to be fading Paul Felder. That's one thing. Paul Felder as my good friend.
You got really serious there for a second, and like I could tell that the drunk hit you hard. You're like, first of all, fuck Paul Felder, 100%.
My good friend, the Clown Kid, likes to plant fade plants.
Yes.
And if he hasn't planted Paul Felder as a fade plant, he has been doing some wrong shit. Because let's look at Berkman's last fight. It was the most boring fight of all fucking time.
Yes.
He comes in today, and he's like, you know what? I'm just going to take a piece of that boringness, and I'm going to do it again. And that's what he did. He just was like, I'm going to be that boring piece of shit one more time, and let's see if it works out this time.
Like the amount of seriousness you put into that, and then it was just like, he just put that boring into the... You're like, oh yeah, we got it. He was boring as fuck.
That fight was terrible, man.
It was really bad.
And he's like, I'm gonna throw like this one combination per 5 minutes, and that's...
It was all right. I mean, people scored a round for him, right? What magical round did you score Josh Berkman for? Can you remember a round of this fight?
Yeah, I do. The first round was Josh Berkman's. He did come out kind of guns a-blazing. He did throw some pretty sweet combinations. I was extremely surprised by it. I'm like, holy shit, my pick's going to be wrong because Josh Berkman actually took like a Red Bull.
Oh, yeah.
He drank a Red Bull before this fight happened.
That's your theory, Red Bull.
Yeah, that's
sugar-free or just
actually,
like the full-strength
Red
stuff?
Bull has like 90 milligrams of caffeine, and Monster
Only
has like
for a
about
round.
60. So I'm thinking it's a Monster.
Go with the Monster, definitely.
Yeah.
Justin, Monster or Red Bull energy drink, what do you think Berkman was on, and what do you prefer on a Saturday?
I don't know. Berkman seems like, no offense, seems a little bit kind of like working class, seems a little bit trashier.
Yep,
I
definitely.
think it's going to be a Monster.
Mm-hmm.
As far as me, I prefer a nice daiquiri.
Okay, that's good. If a Four Loko was available, do you think that Josh Berkman would have preferred the Four Loko before going out to the cage?
I don't think he could handle a Four Loko. He seems a little bit too boring.
Do you think that there's any caveat in the Las Vegas or in the Nevada State Athletic Commission's rules that prevent you from chugging a Four Loko before engaging in a cage
Dude,
fight?
man, let's not even get me fucking started on those guys.
Is the prohibition against Four Loko being used in cage fighting an unfair burden put on fighters?
Listen, man, I'm for the Wild West, man. I want caffeine. I want bong rips in between rounds.
That's smart.
I want oxygen cans to be
That's
used.
just normal.
Even helium. I don't know. Who gives a fuck? Give the coaches high-pitched voices. Let
What if the refs have to use laughing gas?
Do that too.
What if you could crack a whip it? If you could crack a whip it while Bruce Buffer's doing your announcement.
Fuck it. Make them sip lean. It's going down. I don't give a fuck, man.
If you made people slice in Dada 5000 sip lean before that fight, I think that fight would have been more entertaining.
I think that guy died other than, drinking or some shit before he had to fight.
All right, Josh Berkman, Paul Felder. Did you care about it? Did you worry? Josh Berkman broke his goddamn nose. Broke his fucking nose right off the bat. Or I I felt like it happened early.
He probably did that just because he was bored to death.
As an excitement.
Trying to get that whip bonus.
I'm gonna let this dude crack me real quick and break my nose. Unfortunately, that was a failed effect. They did not win shit. So
Did
before that,
win it?
yeah. Oh,
I guess the post-fight press conference going on right now.
People be winning stuff. We're gonna guess what they won, and then you can tell us what actually happened. To kick or to end the preliminary fights that were on Fox Sports 1, which basically make them the same card as the main card, was a fight between Jessica Ai and Sarah McMahon, and this, out of a lot of bad fights, was the worst fight on the card. Does anyone want to say one word about this fight? Brian,
at least
you get one word. You get one word. You already said
One
minutes.
word.
You get one word.
Duty.
You Canuck.
Duty?
Booty.
Ooh, booty. He's
Booty.
got a Sarah McMahon thing or a Just Guy thing.
Both.
Damn. Okay, moving on. One word, Justin. What do you got?
Tattoo.
Yeah, that's a terrible tattoo. I'm gonna say.
What the fuck, man? It's a lion with a gun and a medal. What the fuck?
But at least she has a big booty.
You fucking kidding me?
Dude, here's one thing. I will say, at a time in my life, I used to take a lot of experimental hallucinogenics, and a buddy of mine gave me some stuff that was some weird chemical he made or found from some dude off the internet, and I distinctly remember having a hallucinating trip where, I saw an elephant, and then there was a gun incident, and then there was, a cosmic incident. Now, they didn't all happen together. Her trip seems like there was a lot more layers to it, but, I could see those three symbols coming together.
I think we need to talk after this podcast.
I'm thinking that Sarah McMahon may be my long-lost mother.
Let's have a weekend together where we take that thing that you took, and then we could try to figure out what she was thinking.
Try to color by numbers paint what her tattoo is.
Yeah, I think that would be a fun weekend. Let's have that happen.
Oh my God! You know what would be a great product? An MMA color by numbers that was the worst tattoos of MMA.
Wow, son.
Dude, I just made $1 million, motherfuckers. Mic drop, end the show. Delete this shit. Okay. Anyone can take that. Yeah, if you make that fucking product, you're the winner. Okay. Moving on. Abel Trujillo almost lost to some late notice replacement that he was supposed to murder. Forgot the memo. Went vegan. Decided to gain a conscience or something. Jesus. What happened to Abel Trujillo? He used to be the most emotionally unbalanced, clearly dangerous human being I've ever seen in my life. He came out there all calm and reserved, looking like a mature fighter with a game plan. The worst thing that ever happened to Abel Trujillo. Found yoga, found peace of mind, maybe isn't such a violent, hateful person. He's basically the world's biggest human piece of shit. And, we kind of allowed it because, it's human cage fighting. You're going to get some pieces of shit hanging around. But now he's like some yoga master or... God, a fantastic moment of this fight. My highlight of this fight, in the post-fight conference, having Abel Trujillo tell me that everything is love. Or what? What was his direct quote?
He's like, everything is love. I've been eating fucking kale chips, dog. I've cut meat out of my system, but I still will fight a motherfucker for cash money.
And I will slap a girl at a bar. That is still on the table.
I will domestic abuse a motherfucker right up the ass.
The exact quote was, "Love is a movement." I don't want to get Abel Trujillo mad at me. Yeah, I'd just like to say, "Love is a movement."
Speaking of love is a movement, this tattoo says 144.1.
What does that mean?
Does that have anything to do with love is a movement or yoga? It says 144.1.
44.1. Well, that couldn't even be a date. You know what I mean?
So this guy's all about 144.1. Love is a movement. Let's all have peace, but I'm gonna knock your fucking block off, bro.
Maybe he tried to make tried to make featherweight one time, and in the most extreme weight cut, he made it to 144.1. And he was like, "That's how much heart I got, bro. I can cut to 144.1 if I ever need to."
But yeah, that's super strange, man. That guy is something else.
Let me ask you something serious. Because I shit on Abel Trujillo, even though I kind of like his fighting style because, he's a piece of human dirt. But if the whole boy really did reform his life and become a yoga, lover and expert,
become Dalton from Street Fighter.
Hey, dude, that's my dude. Don't be fucking putting Abel Trujillo. Don't be putting. That was like George St. Pierre as Dalton.
I've been drinking too much.
We got you, baby.
Got him.
Would you forgive Abel Trujillo? Is Abel Trujillo a forgivable soul? Are people redeemable? Brian?
Oh, man, I hate to say it, but yeah, I think that he is. I've been to jail a few times in my life, and I would like to believe that I'm redeemable. And so, yeah, fucking Abel Trujillo is redeemable, man.
I'm down with this because I'll admit it, I've been to jail myself. So, let's be real.
What the hell? Listen, this guy is a nice-ass guy from Canada, probably comes from a good family. I can't speak for you. I know you've...
I'm a degenerate, guys. I'm a degenerate.
I'm some bum-ass hick from the Bible Belt and I've never been to jail. You guys all been to jail?
Well, they just let you off in the Bible Belt, dude. I don't know, I don't know. Don't you get off because you're white down there?
Everybody thinks that I look like this nerdy little guy that just because of my glasses.
Dude served 8 years, hard time.
Dude, you fuck.
Yours are way more Conor McGregor, by the way. But I've been to jail probably 3 times in my life. I've been to jail 3 different times.
Well, it happens when you drink like an asshole, and I'm not saying that I drink like an asshole, but I'm saying one time in my life I drank like an asshole. You're gonna get into some asshole situations, and then when the cops show up, they're like, "If this motherfucker was acting like an asshole and started everything," and then you go to jail. It's just what happens.
They're like, "We're getting along here, fucking ginger."
I'll be completely honest with you. I've spent probably 124 hours in the clink.
Boom. Serious. One of those was the long weekend. Homeboy got the bailsman. He missed the last bail bondsman.
So our homeboy Abel Trujillo is redeemable as well.
Okay, we're giving Abel Trujillo the shot at redemption. Stick with the yoga. No eating the flesh of other mammals, at least. I'll give you the pass on fish. You get the pescatarian pass.
I really don't give a crap.
Boom.
Yeah, just sitting there.
There it is. Jake.
Outside of the cage. I mean, I love John Jones, and he's a complete deviant.
John Jones, I relate to John Jones and his legal situation completely. I would do every single thing that John Jones got accused of and got caught guilty of. I would do every single one of those things.
Oh, yeah.
If I got into a car accident and I had a bunch of weed in the car and I was a rich dude and it was a rental, I would bail from that scene in a heartbeat.
Goodbye! And then you're like, oh crap, I forgot the weed and the money! Ah!
Go back, get the weed and the money!
Something that always happens on Andrew's podcast, right? He talks about these dudes, how we're trying to judge these dudes for who was it? John Dodson said something kind of mean lately, right?
Yeah.
These are dudes that fight each other in the cage for money. They're prize fighters, man. They're literally taking
this guy said something that wasn't nice
for money. Yet we're gonna be like, hey, you're a terrible person for saying that girl looks like a dude. You're a terrible person.
This dude doesn't have the same values as I do.
That's my
God!
You said that girl has a wiener. Fuck you. But yeah, it's fine to take another person's consciousness from them. That's ridiculous.
And guys, we showered them with money for doing it. We're the worst ones in the whole equation.
Yeah.
Well, this guy's morally incorrect. Now let's pay poor people money to fight for our pleasure.
But do not say that somebody has a wiener when they're clearly a girl.
Don't do that, because you're not being joking or facetious at all.
That's ridiculous.
Absurd.
The entertainers.
Beautiful. Okay.
Dicks or not?
Yeah. You're getting entertained. Dick, no dick, everyone's entertained.
Everyone's getting one.
Okay. Jake Collier beat the shit out of Alberto Uda, or Alberto Perina Uda. And this fight was pretty sweet to me, dude. This was pretty fucking sweet. He knocked him out in the second round. After losing the first round in my book, Jake Collier, not a dude who's ever going to do anything of real consequence probably in the UFC. But, damn, for some anonymous, throwing some haymakers, that was pretty sweet.
It's one of the best fights of the night, I think.
Oh, yeah, hands down. Definitely one of the best KOs of the night, probably besides the main event. It was. Probably definitely could be. Brian?
Is that
this dude had a phenomenal post-fight interview. He's like, look, I'm never going to make it to the top, but I'm going to throw you some extremely exciting fights. And we're talking about it earlier, how these dudes need to be mindful in their post-fight interviews. This was one of the best. He said, look, I'm never going to be good, but I'm going to try to give you the best show ever. He got his fucking nose broken early on, and if it was me, I would quit. But yeah, he threw like 7 spinning shits in a row in the second round and was able to get a finish. So Jake Collier is going to be a guy who I'm not going to bet against him in the future, but I'm just going to love to watch him. He's like the new your favorite fighter, Andrew. What the fuck's that guy's name? The Russian Al Capone? He's like that guy.
Nikita Krylov, yeah.
He's like he's the American Nikita Krylov.
Dude, this is what I look forward to from Jay Collier, and that's seeing future photos of him being released on the underground, clearing like at least 6-foot bongs. I think he's a dude who's clearly ripping. He's got to take over the mantle of Matt Riddle, is what I'm saying. Justin, brother, what do you think about Collier and his KO? Was it totally awesome or fucking sweet?
I think it's one of the best fights of the night. I mean, I think it's a shoe-in for later on. Really, those are definitely the highlights. Wow, Flying Brian just disappeared. I guess he has some warrants. I think it's one of the best fights of the night. Of course, sans the main event. We had a lot of decisions on the card. This was one that stood out.
Yeah, someone got their face blown up. It was dope. By the way, Uda, he looked like he was 300 years old.
You're right, yeah.
He kind of had like an old man crouch.
Like a wise wizard.
Yeah, he did have a very wizardly beard.
Like a wise wizard who like maybe went to prison. He had to kind of get it shaved and tucked up a little bit. He's been hitting the weight room.
He's like, Doug, just clean it up a little bit so they don't think I'm that old.
Working on his book of shadows and shit. He's like, I'm gonna fight MMA as soon as I get out of here.
Cast some master level distraction spells as well as being able to throw the jab, and you got all your techniques down.
Right. He got to do some what do you call it? You just like graze the field and like fight mice and stuff when you're in an RPG and you get your like stats up.
Yeah, he's farming.
And he got out of the clink and he's like, I'm gonna fuck some dudes up.
Wrong. He went to the like really deep experience dungeon too early. He should have gone to those low level dungeons and grind it out for a little bit.
Grind it out, but he said, "Fuck that, man. Life is too short. I'm gonna be extreme."
Yeah, next time try to equip some higher stats, and you can definitely get through. Eric Koch got a submission victory in the second round over Shane Campbell. This is a great opportunity to shit on a Canadian because Shane Campbell got out-grappled the fuck up. Talk about America winning all day. Eric Koch just like slapped it on his Canadian ass and showed him this is how we grind on Memorial Day, baby. Spirit of America taking over. What do you think about that, Flying Brian J? Your Canadian boy Shane Campbell coming up sugar cookie soft against Eric Koch. 2-year layoff, didn't care, took on the spirit of the American troop.
Yeah, 2-part question. What do you think about the Eric Koch thing? And also, do you drink Labatt Blue?
I'll drink if whatever the blue is alcoholic. I'll probably drink it. I'll probably throw that down.
It's a Canadian beer, son.
You've never heard of a Labatt Blue?
Oh, sorry. I just got back and I didn't understand the question. Yeah.
Stay fucking current with us at all times. What are you thinking, man?
Labatt Blue is my number one go-to drink. Yeah. Actually, Moosehead is my number one go-to.
I bet you like Moosehead.
Yeah, Moosehead. It's all skunky and awesome.
Could you imagine a moose sucking your dick? How awkward would that be?
Christ.
You know Canadians done it.
Lots of teeth. They got lots of teeth.
No, you train
about that gorilla.
Train them first.
The gorilla thing recently. Can you imagine a moose? Can you imagine?
Whoa, hold on. We talked about a gorilla giving you dome the last time me and you spoke.
No.
How often do we talk about animals giving blowjobs together, dude?
Strike my bamboo, you gorilla.
Have you heard about the gorilla controversy?
Yeah, the kid fell in the thing and the...
Yeah, that's a bunch of shenanigans.
Around.
That's a bunch of shenanigans.
Hey, man, here's my thing. Sometimes you gotta shoot a fucking monkey, even if a kid's acting like a douchebag.
Why didn't they tranquilize it?
Because I guess tranquilizers don't work, dude.
Bullshit, they don't work. Big films have told me for years that tranquilizers work.
Instantaneously. If you get shot with the dart and it's like, ooh.
Yeah, like sleeping. Like, why didn't that happen? I don't understand why that didn't happen.
I mean, there's always like a fuzzy feather.
He curls up and goes to sleep with Seth Green, nestled in his bosom.
Anyway, so yeah, I picked Shane Campbell because I thought he would get the better of the Muay Thai striking. But
no one understood your reference, Justin. Sorry.
I totally forgot that evidently Eric Koch.
Yeah.
is better in all other areas. So, like, Shane Campbell had a legitimate chance of knocking him out early, and then...
Let me interrupt you to ask you this one question. Would it shock you if Rufus Sport was just a giant front for an international cocaine distribution?
Absolutely not.
Okay,
It would not
continue
surprise me
your breakdown
whatsoever.
of this fight.
Have you ever watched the TV show Blacklist?
No.
Well, you should, and nothing should surprise you.
Okay. Justin Golightly, how surprised were you to find out that Rufus Sport is actually a front for international drug smuggling?
Not at all. Nothing surprises me anymore. I assume that every fighter is on weed. They're shooting up the weed.
Oh,
that's just healthy.
PEDs until proven innocent. It's the opposite with me. I'm the opposite of the system there.
You and I both agree that we need to make MMA great again, bring it back to its heyday. We need to go back to the motherland of Japan. I'm sorry?
Or for the first time, make MMA green again, not green.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we fucked up a couple letters, but still, bring it back to Japan. Let everyone use steroids, particularly dangerous animal steroids that we have not tested on humans. You know, that's just what it is.
Do it.
Have you seen that video where there's two gorillas like going at it?
Okay, back to gorillas. Continue.
Have you seen that video? Those two gorillas go at it for like 30 seconds, and it's fucking amazing. So let's give them, each one of them, the same exact roids that Dan Henderson took, or Vitor Belfort took when he was TRT Belfort.
Can Vitor train one of them?
Yes. And then we have that go down. We
Who
can sanction
trains
it
the
under
other gorilla?
Bellator or Bellator, I'm sure of it.
Who trains the other gorilla? One's Vitor Belfort. Who trains the other one?
Let's go with Dan Henderson, and then it's like...
Dan Henderson, definitely.
I really enjoyed this conversation because I wrote an article for Middle Easy that was the 5 speculative. One of them was a boxing kangaroo, and then I proposed that everyone would watch the best embedded ever if it featured a boxing kangaroo that went to Nova União and was trained by Jose Aldo. And split it time in Stockton, training with Nate Diaz. Come on, dude. Everyone was fucking.
You learned the kick game from Nova União in the takedown defense, and then you learned the BJJ in the boxing from the Stockton boys. Unstoppable Kangaroo.
He already has a mean clinch game. You should have seen that video that I posted.
Dude, if you get a liver kick from a fucking kangaroo,
son, it's a done. It's
like
done.
6 Bas Rutens.
You're going down under.
6 Bas Rutens.
Andrew Lawrence, dumb question. Would you box a kangaroo?
What's the purse, dude? I'm a prize fighter. I'm a prize fighter, baby. I went back to Boston right there.
40K.
40K to box a kangaroo?
Yeah.
I can call it off whenever, as long as I box decently and try to.
It has to go past 1 minute.
Okay, I'll box a kangaroo for a minute for 40K. If I win, do I get an extra bonus?
No. This is
That's
a straight contract. This is a Bellator contract, not a...
He has to be on the 8th of psilocybin mushrooms beforehand, though.
No, that's my sponsor. It's just going to be psilocybin mushrooms. It's going to be on my shorts.
It's Terrence McKenna.
It's not even a brand. It's just mushrooms. Do them.
Those scare me, man. You know, that's not my bag, baby.
You got to delve deep into the subconscious.
You gotta try it. It wasn't my bag until I did them, and then I had my first religious experience that I've ever had.
So now it's all praise the flying spaghetti monster.
Yeah, basically. Okay, great.
What other fights do we have to talk about? The Clown Kid.
Dude, we're down to our last 2 fights, the prelims, the Fight Pass prelims, and they were fucking awesome. This is the greatest Fight Pass prelims of all the Fight Pass prelims, in my opinion. Brian Caraway with the upset victory, split decision victory over Aljamain Sterling. Once again, Adelaide Bird putting in a horseshit card for a 29-28 to Sterling, but 2 other judges saw it the right way, giving the nod 29-28 to Brian Caraway. Brian Caraway comes back in the 2nd and 3rd and steals this one from Aljamain Sterling, who kind of gassed, got out technique, got out planned. Pretty sweet fucking fight, man. Brian Caraway gets a lot of hate because he's having sex with an amazingly beautiful woman, and so instantly my heart goes out to him because no man should be hated for wanting to have sex with Miesha Tate. Just because he was successful at it, we shouldn't hate on that. We should encourage that. Dude's a gritty fighter. I'm digging Brian Caraway, man. More and more, I'm becoming a Brian Caraway fanboy number one. I like that he fish hooked a dude. It's still kind of silly that Miesha Tate told him to coast in that round. That it was still maybe one of the more despicable, laughable moments in MMA. Well, even more laughable was when he asked that he get a win bonus afterwards on Twitter. That was really embarrassing. But Brian Caraway
got a win bonus. He's fucking Miesha Tate.
I think he wrongfully gets a lot of hate. I think that because he is fucking Miesha Tate, I feel like he gets a lot of wrongful hate, which it's just ridiculous. In that sense, the fish hook, if you can cheat and get away with it, that's incredible, right?
It only makes you a better fighter, in my opinion.
Think about this tonight. When Aljo was taking his back in the first round, at least twice
he grabbed that cage.
He grabbed that cage when he had Aljo on his back. He grabbed that cage
look at me
at least twice.
Doug, you know he grabbed that cage. Smart man.
You know
he definitely grabbed that cage, but if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
You ain't cheating.
Amen.
Lorenz Larkin had a beautiful moment where he poked the shit out of Jorge Masvidal's eye. He was losing the fight until he poked him in the eye.
From Mortal Kombat, that motherfucker.
I feel like at this stage in the game, it is irresponsible to not cheat to win.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, so you lose, you make $20,000. You win, you make $40,000.
Poke a dude in the fucking
accidental eye poke.
You're just gonna get a warning anyway. Yeah, if I was the MMA fighter, first round, I'm poking you in the eye. Second round, I'm kicking you straight in the dick. Third round, if I have all my ducks in a row, I'm gonna grab the cage if I need to.
Yeah, there's no limit to how many times you can disobey the rules and get away with it. So why not do it as many times as you possibly can?
A lot of people put forth this theory of like, I'll cheat one time, one way each, in each different round. I'm saying you get one type of cheat in each round, possibly up to 2 or 3 types of cheats in that singularized round.
Into that cage like you're fucking.
My theory is like each type of cheat. So you get one cage grab. That's a warning. You get one eye poke. That's a warning. You get one nut shot. That's a warning.
Warning.
You can do each one twice. You gotta space them out.
Yeah, and if I do it again in the third, I can double up probably. I can get away with 2 in the third round because it's gonna take a point in the third round. It's gonna be an egregious offense.
So why not? That's the difference between having $20,000 and having $40,000.
For $20,000, I would wind up so hard and kick you in the dick so badly, Brian.
Yeah, I mean,
I would expect you to understand. I would expect you to understand, dude.
We can still be friends even because it's all about, like, we both know the circumstances going in.
I was like, dude, they said they'd give me 20 G's for kicking you in the dick, and then you're like, yeah, I hear you, dude.
Yeah.
Bro, straight up for $40,000, I would launch myself across that cage like Raiden's special move and headbutt somebody in the dick.
How many times do you think that cone hat was like utilized specifically to be a spear for the genitals?
All the time.
Show me your genitals. Your genitals. Show me your genitals. Your genitalia.
In the butt. We'll put in my what? In the butt.
That went off the rails so quickly. One musical genital.
Let's try to get it back on track. So
Brian Caraway's the man.
Aljamain Sterling. He talked shit on Brian Caraway and Miesha Tate for like a year and a half or whatever straight, however long it was. After this upset, do you think that he's so embarrassed he just quits everything and walks the earth like Kane from Kung Fu, trying to find his true purpose in life?
Yeah, I like that story. I like that he wanders in the desert for at least 6 years or so. Brian, how many years in the desert is he? Are you raising your hand?
Yeah. Well,
I choose you.
I just want to know, like, so at one time we thought that Longo Serra was one of the greatest camps in the world, right? But
are you doubting? You're throwing shade on the Longo Serra camp. I love this and I support it. Continue.
I am. So Chris Weidman lost. Their next best guy, Aljo, lost. Who was their next best guy after Aljo? The
John
205
guy? John Vellante.
John Vellante, yeah. So for a long time we were lauding these guys as some of the best in the world, but literally they're not, right? So we're gonna start fading these guys. They peaked at Chris Weidman winning the championship against a 40-year-old Anderson Silva. Big fucking deal, bro. So past that, we're gonna fade them to the moon.
Big fucking deal. Anderson Silva, he's wearing the Anderson Silva shirt and besmirches the name.
Well, he's my favorite fighter of all time, but this is legitimate. I look at all of these fights.
But I'm
with
feeling
an
what you're
actual
saying.
brain.
I'm feeling what you're saying. Go, keep going.
I'm picking up what you're putting down too.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like, dude is my favorite fighter of all time.
You're trying to be a hater. Continue. Hate more. Hate.
Hey.
So Chris Weidman was a product of being in the right place at the right time. If he would have fought Luke Rockhold when he would have fought Anderson Silva at what was it, UFC 1, Luke Rockhold would have beat him then.
Yep.
And Weidman would have never have been the champion. It's all about
the thing.
It's just Anderson Silva was long gone before he even lost the belt.
Okay, hold on a second. Let me get this straight. You're saying basically that Matt Serra has a fake black belt in jiu-jitsu.
No, that dude is straight murderer. You ever watched Looking for a Fight? That dude is legitimate.
He can beat the fuck out of Nick the Tooth. Let's say that, dude.
He makes Nick the Tooth look like Flying Brian. So, yeah. But anyway, my point is, I think that for now on, we should be looking to possibly fade Serra Longo.
Fade Serra Longo. Fade Ray Longo. Just in life. He's ate too many Italian.
I don't know if you guys can see or if you noticed, but as he's saying that Anderson Silva is his favorite fighter, he's wearing an Anderson Silva T-shirt as we speak.
Is that correct? My logo, if you've ever noticed the Flying Brian logo, I had it modeled after Anderson Silva's logo.
You stole Anderson Silva's logo. You Brazilian trademark infringement.
I sent the person that made my logo. I sent the Anderson Silva Muay Thai College, the spider logo. I sent that and my name to the person, and they made it. And so yeah, I did steal it from the spider, but I'm not here to like love on the dude. He's my favorite fighter, but he's fucking 42 years old. He should have retired 6 years ago.
It's great. Yeah. No, we all feel you. And I support that you're moving to some sort of wine. Okay. Back to Brian Caraway. Can we all just admit Brian Caraway, just like on the record, Brian Caraway cool as fuck?
Absolutely, 100%.
I dig him.
Brian Caraway. Man. Brian Caraway, you are now officially.
What do you think about his nickname? Kid Lighting. I love it.
Dumb. It's dumb as fuck.
I love it.
He should hit me up. We'll brainstorm something, Brian.
Between the Funkmaster and Kid Lightning, which one?
What if he was just like?
Obviously better.
He should be like Pimp C. That should be his nickname, dude. Brian Pimp Caraway.
Let's just say it. Let's just call it as we see him. He should be Brian, the dude who gets to fuck me should take Caraway. I mean,
dude, that makes all the sense.
Like butt cake, Caraway.
Dude, honestly, as much as you hate on the dude, if you hear a dude announced as that, you kind of gotta like stop for a second and be like, well, let's just give it props to that.
Even Aljamain Sterling is probably just like, oh well, I mean, you are right about that.
You could meet Brian Caraway at a buffet brunch, and you could like watch him like sneeze on all the food, and like pick at like sausages a little bit with his fingers, and like throw them back, and like riff through all the bacon and steal all the crispy bacon. But like, and you'd be like, that dude's a fucking asshole. But then if you're like, hey, yeah, and he bangs Misha Tate, you're like, okay, I gotta give him props. He could do the shittiest
how
things.
He's actually really good as well. He doesn't. He's not just like this mediocre guy, just kind of.
So he has buffet etiquette, is what you're saying. Trying
to stay in the UFC's roster by like win-loss. He's actually in the top of the fucking division, and he's banging that chick. It's incredible.
He's winning at a really high level.
But here's the thing. They've been dating since before Misha was in the UFC. Why has he not put a ring on it?
Conspiracy theory. Get the tinfoil, goddammit, Brian.
Ring on it. What's going on there?
Well, you can't be married.
Then you should have put a ring on it. If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. Oh.
Yeah, what's going on there? They've been dating for like 6 years.
Did you go to choreography class for this? Because I missed the stuff.
It's something my agent told me that I should do. To always keep my options open. Because you never know what opportunities you're gonna get. Maybe one day I'll get to dance on Before the Bald Man Speaks or whatever the fuck this show's called.
Yeah, no, you nailed it. Great work. Your agent's doing his job at a really high level. Okay, so
my agent is Brian Caraway.
All right, if you're Brian Caraway, when did you ask Misha to marry you, or do you? Period.
Today, right now.
Instantly, right now. Justin, what's your plan?
I would have fucking done it as soon as she won the title. That's a no-brainer, son.
Exactly.
Once you know the money's coming, I think that's when you lock it down. The money wasn't always there. It was kind of in suspect. Without that championship belt, you weren't sure if it was going to be the lifetime payday.
Quick question, Andrew. He's been dating her since she was Strikeforce champion, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
she's only better looking now. Continue.
Yeah. So you should have at least locked it down then. Long engagement then.
Smart. Like the 4-year engagement. Smart.
She wins the UFC championship. Then you set a date. That's it.
Or you're a gangster, and after she defends the next belt, and she hip tosses some bitch, you have the wedding in the fucking cage, old school WWE style.
Let's do it.
Dana White's the minister.
Since we're on this topic anyway, how long, per week, do you think that Brian Caraway goes down on Misha Tate?
It's at least. I was going to say 6 hours, but they got to train a lot, so I'm going to mark it down to 4.5.
She would have to shower a bunch for the 6 hours to happen, unless he's just real gross.
I'm figuring that there's requirements that Misha Tate is such a bad bitch that she's you have this many hours to fulfill. The stopwatch starts now.
I'm going to go 3.5 hours per week.
There you go.
Jesus Christ.
It's a lot.
It's a half hour a day.
His most worked out muscle set is his tongue.
I guess it's a jaw workout.
I mean, that's mouth skills.
A lot of lips.
Jaw workout. He's got a strong chin, I guess.
It just hangs open after a while, He is just full relaxation so that he can, with minimal effort.
Nick Jr., you son of a bitch.
Okay, I am not looking at the tweets, guys. Sorry for guys who've been tweeting us questions at Before the Bald Man Speaks.
Shit, I haven't been paying attention to that at all.
Yeah, but I mean, if you've watched this show for any period of time, you know that it's kind of a crapshoot. Looks like my man Lemon GF said some stuff. Shout out, what up, Lemon GF?
Lemon GF.
How many beers she's had tonight? I'll set it on the over/under at 8.5. I'm gonna say under 8.5.
Lemon.
I'm going to say, the cupcake stuffer is Brian's name? That's fucking legit.
That's awesome. Nice job, Lemon.
Well put together. 8.5 beers. I'm going to go with the under on Flying Brian. Are you under or over 8.5 beers, Flying Brian? He's counting them.
I'm under.
Under! See? Boom! Catched it. I don't know who's paying me, but anyway. All right, last fight. Let's talk about this. Adam Milstead debuting, 28-year-old heavyweight. Repeat that, 28-year-old heavyweight. They exist in the UFC found one.
That's like a toddler.
Yeah. Chris De La Rocha went out there to be a sacrificial lamb, and goddamn it, wasn't he a great one. Chin for days, and we kind of watched Adam put on a goddamn beating. Maybe my favorite heavyweight fight of the last, let's go with a year.
Whoa.
Yeah. Sweet heavyweight fight. I have a weird fixation with watching guys who are clearly out of shape and not the best athletes, just winging punches at each other in the head, and it only gets funner the bigger they get.
Okay, so Andrew, the clown kid, I'm going to go first. Andrew loves how these big guys, they're unathletic, they're not supposed to be in the UFC, they just throw bungalows.
They remind me of dudes in the park fighting. It's awesome.
And he also loves to talk about curtain jerkers. So this curtain jerker, where these two dudes just threw bungalows at each other, it was actually fucking phenomenal.
Wasn't it great?
The only thing that we could probably talk about on this fight was, do you agree with the stoppage? And yes, I do agree with the stoppage.
Good. Yeah.
This guy's getting paid $14,000, maybe less, maybe more, somewhere between $8,000 and $20,000. This guy is getting paid to get knocked the fuck out on the first fight of the night. Let's let him keep some of his fucking brain cells. Let's let him have some.
He got 6 pairs of Reebok shoes.
With his life. And let's call it a good stoppage. It wasn't getting better for this motherfucker.
No.
Why would
Everything about that stoppage was beautiful. I appreciated it because when I want a fight to stop is when I internally start feeling bad for someone, and then if I feel bad for you in my station over here, like that's a clear sign that we need intervention. It's like if your buddy was in the cage with you, would he say, "Hey man, this isn't going well. We need to wrap this up. Go home." You know, he would. So the ref is everyone's buddy. He's like your sober friend at a bar when you're picking a fight with a really tough guy. And, you know, it's like, let's just head home. You've done enough damage. It's all good.
He's like, cut it out.
Justin, did you love this fight?
Yeah. I mean, I like heavyweights, too. You know, speaking of the heavyweight division is kind of getting interesting. They did announce that other fight, Where Doom.
Okay, let's talk about some non-fight related stuff. One, Stipe is fighting for Doom in Cleveland. We all knew that, but also announced tonight was that for Doom's fighting fucking the Dark Sith Lord himself, Big Ben Rothwell. How fucking fantastic is that? Just so.
I'm picking the Sith Lord, Andrew. I can't pick against.
It's gonna be in the big cage. They're putting it in the Cleveland Center, so the cage is gonna be big.
Everyone loves him, man. How can you not love Rothwell?
Yeah, do you love Rothwell more than you like Verdum because Verdum's face is annoying as fuck? Justin, yes or no? Justin.
You have to do this, Justin. Just get the mic on your face.
Make a sound.
I mean, I've never really had a problem with Verdum. I've always liked him, even after he beat one of my favorite fighters ever. Yeah. Even after he beat one of my favorite fighters ever, Fedor. But man, Stipe, I just like him more. Rothwell, I like him more. Even though the UFC is trying to fuck him over, they won't let him wear his cloak. But there's another fight.
That's a fucking travesty against all promotion. That if you have a fighter willing to walk out in a cloak, that fighter is allowed to, simply by their desire, they are allowed to wear that cloak. This is America.
Symbol on it.
Back of it, you dumbasses. What the fuck? Seriously. Reebok on the back. Just the symbol. It doesn't even have to say Reebok. That way it's still mysterious and cultic.
And you could do it like on a black on black and make it really subtle. Make it a real artistic choice.
Black on black.
There's another fight I'm interested in because Josh Barnett put on his Facebook that the next fight that he wants is not going to be Verdum, but is going to be UFC versus Pride. So that brings the question, what does he mean? Is he representing Pride? Is he representing UFC? I did a diagram of the fighters ranked in heavyweight. Who used to be in Pride. Alistair Overeem, of course, is one, but he's already booked. Mark Hunt is one, but he's not booked, but he already beat Mark Hunt before, so it gets kind of fishy. But I'm really looking forward to see who Josh Barnett fights, because I like that guy.
Yeah, I like Josh Barnett. Unfortunately, I kind of like Josh Barnett and his personality more than his fighting abilities nowadays. That's sad. So I'm hoping the Sith Lord gets it done. I've gone completely anti Verdum, and it's based entirely on that face. I'm going to go ahead and just say it.
He already submitted Josh Barnett, which is insane. What if he submits Verdum? That would like
he would become the greatest heavyweight submission artist of all time.
He would.
Yep. There it
Let's
is.
talk about
before we talk about what you want to talk about, let's talk about one major thing that's happening in MMA that everyone's not acknowledging, and that's Dana White has a fucking beard, and it's gross. Like, no, my beard. My beard is gross as hell right now and is a little disheveled, but it's really fucking masculine and it's an actual beard. You know, Justin, show off your beard a little bit. You got like the chin strap thing going on, but like it's there, it's present, it doesn't look misshapen. He's got like this weird like, just like Oscar the Grouch thing. He took like all this, but it's like at an angle. Like, who the fuck's making you these decisions?
That Dana White is becoming George Costanza from Seinfeld.
Oh, good lord. That would be an improvement over current Dana White. A lot. A huge
Let's go with Dwight Schrute.
Jesus Christ. Thanks. That's a Canadian contribution for the day. Jesus Christ. So, yeah, Dana White with a beard. Immediately shave that shit off, or do we want it to stick around for a few weeks so we can get a couple good memes out of it?
Just the mustache. Make it just the mustache. Grow out the mustache.
Brian?
I assume that it's he was recording some grade A quality content for Fight Pass, so he's actually shaved it already. He just spent some days away where he couldn't shave it, so it'll be gone in no time.
Is it possible that the UFC is digitally adding a beard onto Dana White during the weigh-in?
If we know anything about the digital capabilities of UFC, that is not possible, because they're not able to give me 1080p on Fight Pass or any UFC.tv streaming, so I doubt they're able to add fucking beards.
Dude, it's because they can't render the beard in 1080p. Go ahead, Justin.
Well, they can't even get a GIF or a GIF right, however you want to say it. They always do the same. It's the same pattern. They release a GIF, and it's always looks like it's been run through a Game Boy Color. They always miss the important part of the clip that they show, and then they always run it back in reverse for no explainable fucking reason at all.
They're not good at it.
I always watch my fights in reverse, guys. There's just so much intricacies happening, and a lot of technique is happening in reverse. A layman wouldn't understand it. It's okay. It's fine.
Shit, man. It's bullshit.
All right.
Who does the GIFs for UFC? Also designed the promo teaser for Mayweather Conor, if you saw that as well.
Oh, that was a beautiful work of Photoshop. God, give that guy, a Nobel laureate in graphic design. That was
like the guy from South Park did that with paper cutouts.
Doug, you literally could have done that with paper cutouts. Actually, my paper cutout version of that would have looked a lot more professional.
I could have done that thing. Well, first of all, I'm a design wizard. I could have done that thing with just my flaccid dick and
now you've got everyone's attention on the internet. Bold claim. Let's close the show on that, maybe. All right, everyone here. We got to think a little bit about it because we're going to end the show by giving everyone our performance of the night bonuses and our fight of the night. You're Joe Silva. You're giving out $50K. Who are your two performance of the nights? We'll start with Justin.
Man, it's really hard because, so many decisions were on this card. I think it's really hard not to give performance of the night to Garbrandt.
Yeah.
He KO'd this dude. They were both extreme prospects. Anything could have happened, really. They were pretty evenly matched, I believe, as far as on paper. But Garbrandt really proved that he belongs at the, kind of upper echelons of the weight class, at least, and starched Almeida as he was backing up into the fence. Performance of the night, for sure, I think, has to go to that.
Who's your number two? Who else besides Cody?
Oh, man.
Give it to us.
Probably the other fight, the Uda.
Uda, definitely. Jake Collier with a massive KO in the second round. Yo, Flying Brian, what do you got? Who do you got? Going Garbrandt as well?
Yeah, I think Garbrandt obviously gets one. The closer you get to the main event, the more likely the person is to get performance of the night. I'm not going to give a fight of the night bonus because there wasn't one. So I'm going to give, what did we get, 4 performance of the nights?
Give out 4, fine.
So, Cody No Love. I'm going to give one to Jeremy Stevens. I'm going to give one to Eric Koch and Brian Caraway.
Ooh. Definitely. Yeah, good. I'll give the fight of the night bonus to Brian Caraway against Aljamain Sterling. I'll give a performance to Cody Garbrandt. And we'll throw one to Adam Milstead because that was one of my favorite Fat People knockouts in recent history. Oh, you didn't give out a fight of the night. What's your fight of the night, Justin?
Oh man, fight of the night. You know,
Jessica I
think I enjoyed the coach fight the most, maybe.
Okay, yeah, it was a cool fight. I like watching a guy come on a big comeback too.
Right,
okay,
yeah. I mean, that's always entertaining.
Andrew, if I were to give a fight of the night, my fight of the night would have been the curtain jerker, Milstead versus De La Rocha, because it had some back and forth. It had some where I was worried that De La Rocha was going to knock out Milstead, and then Milstead came back. I think that was the most back and forth fight of the entire night.
High drama in the curtain jerker, most definitely.
Oh.
Okay, so everyone, give a letter grade for the entire card as a whole. You know, for the Canadians, we give our letter grades A to F, but there is no E. There is no E.
We don't use the fucking metric system, you goddamn.
100.
No, that doesn't count. A to F, guys.
Man, before Sarah McMahon versus Jessica I was giving this fucking thing an A+, and then we had 6 consecutive decisions. So I'm going to go with the C+.
C+ on the night. Justin, Secret Moves, MMA, what do you give him? A to F.
Man, I don't know. I think I'm going to have to go kind of the same route. I think it was a little bit better. It was a little bit entertaining. But I think I'm going to have to go with a C, just a flat C.
Boom, haters tonight. Andrew's calling it a solid B fight. I had a good time. It was, it was Memorial Day weekend. I was, lighting up a little bit, doing a little bit of drinking over here. So I'm in a gregarious mood. I'm in a generous mood with my grades. And God damn it if that heavyweight fight didn't just tickle me the right way. And the main event paid off in huge dividends. I always enjoy watching someone just get knocked the fuck out for the first time. Just reality smacking them right in the goddamn face. So I give this card a B. Pretty good night of fights. Thank you to both my guests, Flying Brian Jeffries and Justin Golightly, Secret Moves MMA. Justin, if you want to tell the people who are still listening where they can find you all over the interwebs and how they can reach out to you, reach out and touch you. How can they touch you digitally?
Well, they can touch me through the Oculus Rift. They can fondle my ball sack and all sorts of delicious things like that. But if you want to find me on Twitter, it's going to be at Secret Moves MMA. I write regularly for Middle Easy, and I just did a excellent piece actually about Twitch and the modern journey of a fighter for the new upstart champions. So be on the lookout for that.
Boom! We will be on the lookout for that. Thank you once again. Flying Brian Jeffries, let everyone know where they can find you.
As always, if somebody made it to this point in the podcast, they know where to find me. Thank you guys for listening in. Thank you, Andrew, for having me on. Thank you, Nick Diaz, for talking with me for a little while.
Nick, do you have anything to tell the fans?
Yeah, dude. All those guys are bitches, first of all. Because they all eat meat or whatever. They're all polluted with free radicals. That's why they're all fucking slow, dude.
Nick,
me and my brother, for real, dude.
What do you think about Abel Trillo joining the ranks of the real and going vegan?
I mean, that's all straight, he's trying to remove all the carcinogens or whatever from his diet, and he's trying to become Dawson or whatever. That's dope. I mean, Street Fighter, that's cool.
Nick, if I hear you doing great movie reviews, what is the biggest blockbuster you look forward to this summer?
Man, I don't know, dude. Just trying to prepare for my fight, bro. Trying to do I just want big money fights, man. Who knows? Maybe I'll fight Robbie Lawler again and motherfucker get knocked out.
We saw this week that your brother got a mural in Stockton. How many murals do you have in Stockton, Nick?
You know, I don't have like a mural per se or whatever, dude. Because I kind of don't like to be all exposed and shit. But my brother, dude, well, that's what's up, dude. My brother's getting mad praise, and that's pretty dope. That's pretty cool, dude.
Currently, what model car is your brother driving?
I gave him my busted-ass Honda.
With the big payday, you think he finally deserved the Honda?
Yeah, dude. I pretty much run like 50 miles a day or whatever. So, like, I just run wherever I go, dude. It's no big deal to me. But he's got my busted-ass Honda, and he's been putting a lot of hours teaching jiu-jitsu or whatever. So, like, he's probably going to buy, like, a yacht or something. I don't know.
Okay, thanks once again to Mr. Stockton himself, Nick Diaz, for stopping in, answered a few questions for us. Always delightful to get Stockton's input. Thanks again to Justin Golightly of Secret Moves MMA, Middle Easy fame, the man himself.
Hey, thank you, man. Thanks for having me on the show and always bugging me about it.
Oh yeah, good. I'm glad I bugged you enough that you actually decided to show up. Fly Brian Jeffries, thanks for covering the space while we had some dead air here. We look forward to having you on UFC 200. You are a gentleman, a savior, and just an all-around cool dude. Thank you for everyone who watches this show and watches it live, especially the people who watch it live. God, you guys are maniacs, and I love every moment of it. Always hit me up on Twitter. I'm at the Clown Kid. You know that. Hit us up on the hashtag during the show, BTBMS, and maybe we'll answer them, or maybe I'll have two guests on, and I'll be too drunk to read Twitter and simultaneously host a show. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good evening. 2